Hey guys, welcome back to this channel, and today we'll be reacting to
Why Americans don't take vacations and why Europeans do.
There are only two countries in the world that don't guarantee paid vacation. Is it Syria? Nope, they get 14 days. Venezuela? 15 days. Congo? 12 days. North Korea? 14 days. Micronesia and the US are the only two countries in the
Micronesia.
world that don't guarantee paid vacation.
Even North Koreans get more vacation than Americans?
Okay, nobody wants to live in North Korea, but the fact is, the US is the only developed country, well, one of only a few countries in the world where paid vacation is not a legal right. And even if Americans do get vacation, we don't take them. Now, this puzzles a lot of Europeans. And I spent 10 years in corporate America, and I didn't understand what was puzzling until I went and worked in Europe for 7 years. There, I saw people getting and taking 5, 6 weeks of vacation. So in this video, we're going to explore what does paid vacation look like in the US, Europe, the rest of the world. Which country do you think gets the most? Why don't Americans get and take vacation? And why Europeans do? And lastly, I'll share some eye-opening stats that inspired me to actually take my vacation. Now, this isn't about bashing the American.
in Eastern Europe. Is it easy for people to take vacation?
Yeah. The vacations are same as everyone in Europe. I think a month. So my mother would always take 2 weeks in the summer and then around Christmas 2 weeks. Or maybe 3 weeks in the summer, and on Christmas she would take a week because there's a lot of holidays, so she kind of just like plays around, so she ends up having almost 2 weeks with only a week vacation time, something like that.
American system. It's about improving the quality of life for people. And there's a lot we can learn from Europe. And to change the future, we need to look at the past. Because even in Europe, paid vacation wasn't always a thing. In the 1800s, the idea of a vacation was almost unheard of. People worked a lot, and leisure was only for the rich. But things began to shift in the early 1900s with industrialization. In fact, in 1910, US President William Taft suggested Americans should get 2 to 3 months off every year. But that never happened. Meanwhile, things did start to change in
I wonder
Europe,
why was
especially
this
after
reason?
the First World War. Leaders saw time off as good for health, productivity, and social stability. And by the 1920s, paid vacation became law in several European countries. Then came World War II, which devastated Europe. Afterward, many European countries developed welfare states to strengthen labor rights and social benefits. And slowly, many European countries would make it law to guarantee paid vacation for all. The US, on the other hand, had a booming economy. Employers started offering paid vacation to attract workers, and unions negotiated paid vacation. But as a country, the US committed to a more hands-off, free market approach. Let the companies decide. European countries would slowly add a week more vacation in the 50s, 60s, 70s. By the 90s, European countries would guarantee 4 to 5 weeks of paid vacation by law. And today, almost every country in the world guarantees.
Yeah, Lithuania is like the majority of Europe. I do see the Scandinavian countries, and I think there's the England too. England, France have more vacation, but yeah, most of them seem the same color in Europe out there. Switzerland too.
Paid vacation, except Micronesia and the US. One of the biggest differences I noticed between European and American work culture was in the summertime. Because right now, it's summer and Europeans are literally out of office. But for many Americans, the office is never too far away. Many people say Europeans work to live and Americans live to work. Well, first off, it's because EU law actually guarantees a minimum of 20 paid vacation days. And that's pretty much standard all across Europe. But which country gives the most minimum paid vacation days by law? If you guess Europe, not quite. A lot of countries, many in Africa and the Middle East, guarantee 30 days of paid vacation. Places
Wow.
like Yemen, Niger, Kuwait, Monaco, Equatorial Guinea, Algeria.
And 30 days, I'm assuming this is not calendar days, this is business days, right? I would think so. So it's more than a month when you add with the weekends.
Libya, and more. And no surprise in Europe, all countries give at least 20 paid days.
Yeah, because in Lithuania it's 20 days, but I believe it's 20 business days. So that's why it ends up being 4 weeks. So yeah, those countries then give 30 business days. So that's like what, 6 weeks, almost. Wow. Not almost. It is 6 weeks. Yeah.
Days per year. In Latin America, countries like Brazil, Panama, and Peru also give 30 days. In China, you start with 5 days, then 10, then 15. In Japan, the minimum is 10 days. In South Korea, it's 15.
What do you mean then 5, 10, and 50? So how does you have to earn them? How does that work? Interesting.
Even North Korea guarantees 14 days. In Australia, the minimum is 20 days. In North America, Canadians get at least 10. And the US, 0. Now, these are legal
That's so
minimums. Many employers
six.
give more. And in many countries, paid vacation also depends on different policies. For example, in France, the law guarantees at least 25 paid vacation days. But if you work more than a standard 35-hour work week, you earn extra days off called RTT. So someone
That's interesting. Their standard work week is 35 hours. Ours is 40. That's interesting.
working 37 to 39 hours a week can get
Maybe
another
the
10 to 20
siesta
days
break?
off. That means French employees can actually get more than 40 paid vacation days. In the Netherlands, the legal minimum is
I guess an hour in the middle of the day break for lunch break every hour, every day. Because I do think they work like the same. They leave at 5. So I think they probably get like an hour break.
20 days, but a lot of people also get 30 and even over 40 days off. It's not uncommon to find companies that let you buy extra vacation days by trading your salary too. In Australia, the law guarantees at least
That
20
makes
days,
sense.
but employees also get a paid long service leave
I don't know how
of
much they
6
can
to
buy.
13 weeks after 7 to 10
Well,
years.
you buy it with your hours. So basically your salary.
So you work extra days?
No, so you just give up part of your salary.
Mm.
That's makes sense. Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
Years of service. Another thing that matters is paid public holidays too.
So you just
Now,
call
what
out. I'm calling out. You won't get paid.
Well, not that then, but the next if you skip a week of work because you're calling out and you already used up your, so you're basically buying a week. Then a week you're gonna work and you're not gonna get paid.
Oh, you
So-
still have to work. I thought you just
No.
show. No pay.
Okay, no show, no pay, yes. But then you show next week that next week you're gonna work and not get paid to work for the previous week that you used for vacation. What's confusing about this?
I feel like that. No show, no pay. I understand. Show and no pay.
Yes, because you took a vacation days that you didn't have, so you buy them back by working, or I guess give them cash to the company, but that's kind of ridiculous. I don't know why the company would take cash from employers. I think you would just work and not get paid.
About which country guarantees the most paid vacation days, including public holidays?
Iran tops the list, at least 53
Wow,
paid days
27
off per
public
year,
holidays?
the most in the world. And all these other countries,
Wow.
from San Marino to Yemen to Madagascar, also give more than 40 paid leave days per
Wow,
year.
Which country
Azerbaijan.
guarantees the least?
Micronesia and the US.
Now, which country gives on average the most paid vacation days by employer?
According to an Expedia study, France came out on top with 31 days of paid vacation. And many European employers also give around 30 days of paid vacation too. This doesn't include the entire world, and it varies employer to employer, so let's do our own research. Tell us in the comments below, which country are you from? What job do you do? And how many days of paid vacation do you get per year? And don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get back to the video. Most Americans do actually get vacation from their employers. The average is around 11, 12 days, or 2 weeks. But here's the reality. 1 in 4 American workers
Yeah, I think pretty standard to give. What employers give is 2 weeks. The 4 weeks like they do in Europe is pretty unheard of. I don't think that. I mean, if that's like your hill to die on, if you're like a wanted employee and you need 4 weeks, you can negotiate that, yes, But generally speaking, that 2 weeks is a standard.
Is that also considered like your bonus?
Well,
Use it?
that's where he's heading right now. He's gonna say if you don't use it, you're gonna get Americans should opt out to just get cash and not use it.
get no paid vacations or holidays at all. And even when Americans do get vacation, half never use it all. In fact, Americans today take fewer vacations than they used to. It also doesn't help when leaders say there are already too many non-working holidays. Yet surveys show 65% of Americans feel like they don't take enough vacation. So if most Americans feel like they don't take enough vacation, yet half of them don't even use up all their vacation, why don't Americans take more vacation? And why do Europeans do? Three reasons. One,
What's the definition of? I wish they went over a definition of what is a vacation, because maybe because in America, like people's vacation is like the weekend, so on the weekend they able to do some relaxation.
I think vacation, the simplest definition is just time off work, not working. I don't think vacation has to be like going on a trip necessarily.
Yeah,
I
that's what
don't
it
think
seems
that.
like.
No,
That's
no,
what
no,
it
no.
seems
I don't
like.
think it's going on a trip. I think vacation just like this week I'm just not going to work. That's my vacation. I'm just gonna sit at home, watch TV all week long.
And you don't do work.
Yes. So
But
that's a
Don't you
vacation.
kind of get that on the weekend?
Yes, but then you extend it through the week for 5 days. You do the same thing. That's the whole point.
Maybe people feel like 2 days is enough. Like Friday, once Friday at 5 o'clock.
Oh no, I don't think people feel that. But I think people just do it because for the money they take. Because you have an option to get the vacation days. You have an option to get cash for it. So
Because to me, it really depends what you're doing for a vacation. Like if you go on a cruise, maybe past 4 days, I'm like, okay, I want to get off this boat.
well, like for example, my mother, what she would do on vacation is just not go to work, read. Because it's in the summertime, so she go outside, read, enjoy the nature, just relax. That's a vacation, but she not like a trip, just vacation. Yeah.
one, culture, two, law and policy, and three, system design. But first, let me tell you a story. In my first job in corporate America, I fortunately had 5 weeks of vacation, but like 50% of Americans, I didn't use up all 5 weeks. And when I worked in the Netherlands, I also had 5 weeks of
He's
vacation.
familiar to
And
me.
in my
Did we do this video?
Not this video, but we have reacted to his content before. He was in the Netherlands. He did a couple videos like why, just America versus US.
first year, I didn't know I could use up all 5 weeks. But then I saw everyone else take their vacation days, even their first years, and then my colleague, now friend, told me that I was stupid for not using up my vacation days. In the US, we don't see people taking all their vacation days, and as humans, we tend to follow the crowd. So when we don't see everyone around us taking all their vacation, we also don't take our vacations. But in Europe, what I
It can also
noticed,
be like a
everyone around me.
pressure, like, oh, if they don't see you here and the company is still doing well, then I don't think we need you.
Yeah,
'Cause it's
there's a
very
lot of things.
competitive.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of factors for sure.
Me, from juniors to senior leaders, they took their vacation days. And especially in the summer, the offices were literally empty during certain months.
Honestly,
and so eventually,
that's the best time to work. Honestly, when the office is empty and you come into work, it's like you're on vacation, low key too.
I felt okay. I felt safe to take my vacation days too. So the culture of the company, the culture of the country, plays a huge role in why Americans don't take vacation and why Europeans do. But why?
According to Expedia,
Hustle culture and the stress of planning a trip are why 65% of Americans say they're vacation deprived. Pew Research also found many Americans don't take time off because they don't feel like they need it.
But I would say though, he's not. I don't think he's gonna talk about it. But even like what you just said, I think for Americans, vacation equals taking a trip though.
Yeah,
I think that is for like. I think
it's easy to take a trip in Europe.
yeah.
Hop a train.
I think it's a concept of a vacation and just chilling at home for a week. I don't think it exists here in America. I think
There's like staycations, but then you don't need like to take days off.
yeah. I think for
Just a Friday at 5. Go.
Yeah.
And then come back. Maybe
I think
Sunday evening.
for an American, a vacation is equals a trip, which
That's what he's telling me.
and that's what you alluded earlier in the video. That's what your idea of vacation was. To me, at least growing up, I don't know. Maybe other Europeans also vacation equals a trip, but to me, like I can only speak like for my mother. Sometimes we took trips, but like most often her vacation is just off work.
No, she didn't want to do
She
it.
just didn't want to deal with work. Yeah, so
And you guys too.
no, she dealt with us.
No, she had her own personal time.
No,
she goes
that
read.
personal time was dealing with us. Yes, okay. Yeah, so yeah, I think that's and maybe because planning a trip does like in the previous slide he had.
Deprived. Pew Research also found
Oh, where the fuck he had planning a trip? Oh, here, stress of planning a trip. Yeah, so maybe it is planning a trip is stressful and that's why
You gotta
people just
travel,
choose
'cause you need to take time out to travel.
because also I feel like maybe there's a little peer pressure in the sense that if you do take a vacation, when you come back, people are going to be like, oh, what did you do? And then you're like, oh no, you don't want to be like, oh, I stayed at home all day. Yeah, because people are nosy like that. And I think that also might play a role into it.
But in Europe, you can go and read, like, take a train and go read somewhere else.
And in Europe, I feel like people are not, because people are not as chatty like as they are here.
Yeah.
I feel like they wouldn't even ask, oh, what did you do? Like if you're close,
They already assume you're vacating.
and if everybody, if it is common to just vacate by not going to work and just chill, they wouldn't be like, oh, you didn't do anything. Because like even here, like in college, would be like, if there's a break, oh, what did you do during the break? Like there's expectation that you have to do something.
Yeah.
Versus what I do, guess what? I just didn't go to school and laid in bed all day and relaxed.
That's you crying.
Yeah, but that's not really like socially acceptable or whatever. I think that there's a part of it to that.
Many Americans don't take time off because they don't feel like they need it, and they're worried about falling behind or dumping extra work on their coworkers.
Yes, I do check my emails. It's the first thing that I do when I get out of bed in the morning.
Even on vacation?
Even on vacation.
The mountain of work you have to come back isn't worth the time you would take off.
Because I feel like with jobs, it looks bad to call out sometimes. So you feel like you got to go to work every day.
I feel guilty for taking off in the middle of the week and leaving somebody else all the work that I do.
This is how I felt too about taking all my vacation time in the US. There are also legal reasons why Europeans take their vacations too. In many European countries, there are legal obligations for employees to use up their vacation days or they lose them. And there are exceptions based on each country too. In the Netherlands, you have
That yeah, like if you lose it and you can't convert it to cash, I would take it too. That's not an option. Like I am not losing 3 days.
That doesn't seem fair.
Yeah, that like because that's why a lot of people here don't, because you can convert it to cash.
So
So
now I'm curious if you guys had that option.
that would be interesting. Would Europeans also take vacations if they could convert it to cash? Because think about it, you don't take vacation, or if you get like let's say a month, but you only take like 2 weeks, in the summer to chill, and the Christmas time you can kind of play around with it. Like work is usually light, so even if you do go to work, is it work? So you realistically can get 4 weeks off, for 2 weeks off, and those 2 weeks, you get 2 weeks off in cash. Couple years you save up, you buy a car, brand new car, for that money. Would you take it, or would you buy a car? I don't know.
Especially if you say I got all these days for holiday. If I did not take them, that's a lot of money. It's even more.
have the obligation to use up the legal minimum of 20 days by July of the following year. And European companies also have a legal responsibility to remind their employees to use up their vacation days as well. For example, one thing that really surprised me was that when I was working in the Netherlands, the HR team would send out emails to remind people to use their vacation days. This would never happen in the US. But what's puzzling is that most US states, 46 out of 50, they also have a use it or lose it policy as well. But still, 50% of Americans still don't take all their vacation days. Well, one key thing to remember is that your job in America is at will.
What do you
can
mean
get
use it or lose it? We get it for getting cash here. You take the vacation days, you get cash. I get bonuses. I don't know. You get cash for it.
fired at any time. There are fewer safety nets as compared to Europe, and in America, health insurance is tied to your company, and health insurance is expensive, and a hospital bill is even more expensive. So that's why many people don't feel as safe to take all their vacation days. But in Europe, there's a lot more protection for employees, so people feel safer, more secure to take all their vacation days. At least that's how I felt. But after learning about the labor laws and seeing everyone around me take their vacation days, eventually I also took all 5 weeks of my vacation days too. And that's why and how Europeans are able to take many vacations. I mean, when I lived in the Netherlands, I would average 4 to 5 vacations every year. And that's not to brag, but it's possible because it's easy, convenient, and really affordable to travel within Europe. You can literally fly anywhere within.
Where he said that.
Vacation
Oh,
combined.
okay.
In Europe in a few hours for only $200 round trip. From Amsterdam, Barcelona is 2 hours away for about $100. London, 1 hour, $100.
Yeah, I do think the compactness of Europe, how compact the continent is, how easy it is to travel, does play a role in people wanting to travel more. I think here in the States, traveling is yeah.
You gotta drive to Orlando for like 3 hours.
Or fly, and like a lot of people don't
And
like.
pay a lot of money for dinner.
Flights are not cheap.
And
Yeah,
hotels.
yeah. Mhm.
dollars. Paris, 1 hour, $200. Now compare this to traveling in the
Yeah,
US.
exactly.
Flying from San Francisco to New York takes almost 6 hours, 4 hours to Chicago, about 3 hours to Seattle.
Right,
The
yeah,
US
I think that's the thing. A lot of Europeans don't realize how big this country is. Like, this country is ridiculous.
is huge. It takes a lot of time to travel around, and when you don't have that much time, it's just easier to stay local. But in Europe, there's a
Yeah, but like even staying local, as I said, it can still be a vacation though. Like vacation doesn't necessarily imply travel. Like
You see,
vacation.
but we understand it's travel.
Yeah, I see that.
bigger incentive to vacation. I mean, you can literally visit the world's most famous sites on just weekend trips.
Because let's be real, like if I'm taking a vacation and I'm traveling, I'm sorry, that's not a vacation for me. Like if I'm traveling to like a resort and chilling, for like if you go like to Turkey, all inclusive resort, and you chill for a week, okay, fine, that's vacation. But if I'm traveling to Paris and I'm fucking sightseeing for a week, that's a job. Walking, this is not a vacation. I'm not resting. I'm working. That is not a vacation. Yeah, that you need a vacation for vacation. That exactly. You take 2 weeks off. You spend 1 week sightseeing, and a week is actually vacation from the sightseeing. Because sightseeing is tiring. That's no vacation.
Vacation days, a culture of taking vacation, and the traveling infrastructure in Europe. That's why there's such a big vacation culture in Europe. Well, why does this matter? All studies out there show that taking time off isn't a luxury, it's a necessity.
Taking vacation time
If
is linked
anything,
to
it
a
proves that we
lower
need
risk of
more
heart disease as
vacation
well as
time here in
increased
the
productivity.
States.
It can also promote
What do you mean?
We need more time.
Oh, well, you need federal laws for vacation, but they ain't
But
passing
even
it.
if they give you like for example, the 2 weeks that people do get, you need more time.
Yeah, but
better mental health
luck.
and has shown a reduction in stress, depression, and anxiety.
Employees also have higher likelihoods of getting promoted when they take time off. And that's a reason why almost 100% of the entire world guarantees paid vacation. Now, I don't need to bring up more studies because it's common sense, but I would like to bring up some of my favorite stats that actually inspired me to take my vacation days. The average American will work 80 to 90,000 hours over a lifetime. The average European will work 60 to 70,000 hours. So the average American will work 10 more years than the average European. Now that's great if you love your job. But Gallup tells us that 7 in 10 US workers are not engaged in their jobs. And one of the top regrets of the dying is, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. When you take time off, not only do you feel more recharged, more productive, but you also get to spend more quality time with your kids, your family, your loved ones. Well, what can Americans learn from Europeans about taking time off? Europe shows us that you can still be productive and take time off. Now, I believe a lot in work, especially work that aligns with your values. But what I really hope for myself, for family, loved ones, is to have the opportunity to spend time with the people and the things that truly matter to us. Now, I might be dreaming, but isn't that what America is all about? Because what I do know from history is that things can and will change. Because paid vacations weren't a thing 100 years ago. But now, almost 100% of the world guarantees it. Now, things take time.
That's what it says. It's good to be a
takes
kid,
time.
to enjoy your nap now.
But there are also things that are under our control. We can choose to take more time off. Because in America, we often define ourselves by how
that's the thing. Not everybody has a choice to take a time off. Not because the company is not giving, but you need the money. Like that's.
Especially in this economy.
Yeah, people don't take time off because they need the money. It's that simple. If the money was not an issue, like, because in Europe you do have a bigger safety net in terms of like social support, and like just in general, like the houses historically they like belong to the family, so you kind of have like a housing. It's not that you do have a housing, because if you leave your parents, okay, you fuck still, but if you kind of have something to fall back on. Here you don't. If you fall back, you're homeless. There's a little pressure, and that's why people don't take vacations, because you don't want to fall back.
hard we work. But what if we also define ourselves by how well we live? Now imagine yourself at 80 years old. What would you give up in order to spend an extra day with your kids, your family, your loved ones? How about an extra 10 years?
Staycation.
Well, thanks for watching.
I like staycation. Yeah.
Cool, interesting video. Okay.
Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. If you'd like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. And as always, share as much kindness as possible. Bye, guys.